You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Thursday the 3rd of April 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I'd love to be able to report that yesterday I decided which of the two activities I was considering that I actually did. But the truth is I didn't do either because I actually have been really into getting still life signed off. So I'm about, where am I? I've been reading through, so I think I mentioned before that I physically printed an actual copy of it because I think for the final sign-off, where basically all the mistakes have been corrected, I like to read it as though it were a novel because I am very conscious of the fact that I do pick up mistakes, you know, whether it's punctuation mistakes or grammatical errors, better on paper and actually in a real book. If you see something, it just jumps out a mile. And I'm pleased to say I've found almost nothing. There are a couple of occasions where I've improved wording or changed something. One of the things, actually, somehow, I'm not quite sure how I did this, but there's an inconsistency in the date in which Molly disappears. So the prologue, or the first chapter, is dated July 1915, but she says she went missing towards the end of August, which is obviously wrong. So little things like that I've corrected as I read it through, just little inconsistencies there. And that's basically what I've been doing for most of yesterday. And I had breakfast this morning because although I'm recording this at basically midday local time in Vegas, it's nearly 8 o'clock at home, so in the UK. So this is a late-ish podcast. And our alarm call is in 7 hours and 20 minutes for the flight home. And what I'm going to do when I finish recording this is I'm going to get my uniform all ready, get everything ironed and shoes cleaned and everything. And then I'm probably going to do another hour going through this because I really, now I've got the bit between my teeth, as it were, I really want to get it signed off. So I've literally been making the minor alterations that I spot as I go. For the first couple of chapters, I was just making a note on the page, but there's so few of them that I need to actually do. There's actually a good chance that as I was going through the book, I might miss. What I've done is I've put a little star in the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner of each page where I've made an alteration. And I suddenly realised there was actually a chance I would miss because there's so few of them. So I've literally, because I've got all the, the wonderful thing about, not so much the web, what do you call it, the cloud, is that I have the original documents all available on my phone. So literally, as I've been making the odd change here and there, I've been changing it. As I've noticed something I need to change, I've been changing it on the phone. So, for example, in the chapter I just read, I thought I might foreshadow, because there's a little bit in the epilogue, well, not in the epilogue, but in the final chapter where Saywood, or is it the epilogue? Oh, it is the epilogue, isn't it? I changed it into an epilogue. But yeah, in the epilogue where kind of I hint that Noah and Leslie, friends of Rebecca and Saywood's, have split up. And I thought I might foreshadow that. So there's a bit where, it's the scene where Saywood and Rebecca have agreed to meet up one last time after the big revelation earlier in the book. And they've agreed to meet up and sort of have a civilised goodbye. And there's a little bit where originally it said, when we're done, Noah and Leslie will come and pick us up from our coffee shop. And I've changed it to Noah will come and pick us up, and Saywood's like, oh, no, Leslie? And Rebecca whispers, no, they've had a bit of a row. So that's kind of interesting. And it kind of then foreshadows the bit at the end, because I've suddenly realised there's not many days between the moment where they say goodbye to each other and then what ultimately happens to Rebecca. There's not many days between it. So I suddenly thought, no, I need to foreshadow the fact that Noah and Leslie are having a rocky time of things, because otherwise there's a very small window in which it could actually occur. So that's basically, it's tiny little continuity points just to tidy up and make it slightly better. The odd word I've changed here and there, but mainly I've enjoyed reading it. And the same bits made me sort of tear up that have always done so. So the moment where Sir Teddy Ainsley meets Molly for the first time and tells her who he is, that bit. And also that last meeting, the bit where what I've just talked about, the last meeting between Rebecca and Sayward, where they, having decided to split up, they've decided to kind of be amicable about it, and have a last sort of coffee together and a last little talk. And that bit always gets me, partially because I know what's coming, but also it's, on the face of it, they're two people who really like each other, but have to split up because I won't explain why, because it's one of my favourite bits of the story, but there's a reason why, even though they think they love each other, they have to split up. And it's quite heartbreaking, really. That bit. I'm going to do a bit more work on that today, and then I think, really, I've kind of set myself a deadline of, I don't know what the date is, but basically it's the 3rd now. I get home from this trip on the 4th, probably in the evening, so I won't do much work tomorrow. And then I've got the 5th, 6th and 7th off before I go back to work on the 8th, and I really want to have this book signed off properly signed off by the end of the 7th. So that means reading the last 120 pages or so. I'm going to get some of them done today, so that's not a big tall order. I've made all the alterations live as I've been going. Then I need to go through my list of things that I know I do wrong. I keep mentioning it, but replacing like with as if and as though. I always capitalise police, and actually it doesn't need to be capitalised. I quite often capitalise the ranks as well, so sergeant and constable and inspector, and I don't think they need to be. I need to double check that. And there's a few other, and there's a little bit where the pub, the Viscount, in some versions I've capitalised the in the Viscount, and other versions I haven't, so I just need to make sure that's the same all the way throughout. Just little bits of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So actually, and I know I did try to do the like becoming as if and as though a little while ago, and then realised I was so tired I was probably cocking things up. So I will do that one as a live stream. So not only can I will I make the changes with an audience, I will have a record of what I've done and the changes I've made, so that if I ever get paranoid that I've done something stupid, I can go back and watch it to reassure myself that I haven't. Very strange person, aren't I? Anyway, so that's it from Vegas. I should be back, all being well, as long as there's no problems with the flight. I should be back at home tomorrow, and I will do a little update. Not that I'll have much to say, but I will do a little update tomorrow from home. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.